this might be hard truth for you to hear right now where you are at in your spiritual journey. But in order for you to keep growing, in order for you to keep feeling aligned and fulfilled, you are going to need to let go of not just everything that no longer serves you, but specifically people who hold you to the old version of you. And what I mean by that is when you're in your growth, when you're changing, when you're doing the work, when you're doing the inner work, when you're doing the shadow work, when you're transforming, when you're changing, when you're trying new habits, when you're doing the things to uplift yourself, to create a better life for yourself, to create more stability within yourself, within your life, to regulate your nervous system, just to up level yourself, right? There are going to be people around you who don't have your best interests at heart and don't actually want to see you succeed. But also, most importantly, they're holding you to the version of your old self. And sometimes in that space, it's hard for you to grow because it's already really hard for you to let go of the old version of yourself, right? When we're going through our transition, our journey, and we're changing and we're growing and we're evolving, we have such an attachment to who we were because that's who we've been. And that's what the trauma and our nervous system and everything shaped us to be like. So actually changing from your old self to a new version of yourself can be really difficult and really hard because you're going against your nervous system. You're trying to make such a change. And that's why people don't understand that the spiritual journey, the self-discovery journey, the really working on yourself journey, it's a lot of work. Even though externally it might not appear that way, you are doing so much internal work. And one of those things is letting go of your old self, trying to let go of old habits. Say you're trying not to drink anymore, okay? You want to go sober for whatever reason, or maybe you just don't want to drink anymore. You don't want to rely on alcohol to go out and have fun. If you're constantly hanging out with people who rely on alcohol to have fun, it's going to be hard for you to shift. And I'm not saying that it's impossible, and I'm not saying that you're not possible of doing it, because you are, right? You're in charge of you, you have control of you. And at the end of the day, you shouldn't allow other people's moves and how they are to impact you, okay? However, it can impact us whether we want to or not, whether we recognize it or not, whether it's just subconscious. Because if you're trying not to drink anymore, but the people around you are so reliant on drinking, then it's going to be hard for you to step into the new version of yourself where you don't need to drink. And the people around you, they're going to be holding you to the standard that they know in their mind of you. And that's something that you need to understand, is that there are so many people out there with multiple different perceptions of you. They have their own version of you in their mind. So if you've been somebody who has been reliant on alcohol in the past, or if you've been someone that has been angry easily, or whatever it is, you used to have different habits and hobbies and things like that, and now you're shifting into the new version of yourself, the people from your old life, they're not going to understand that. They may not even be accepting of it. They may not actually want you to change, because then that's uncomfortable to them. They know that going out with you and drinking is comfortable to them. And if you're stepping outside of that and saying, hey, I don't need this alcohol to feel this way, it may upset them, it may trigger them, it may make them uncomfortable. And that's when people around you usually try to drag you back down to their level. Now, I'm not saying that you can't have any old friends in your life or anything like that. Obviously, there are beautiful people that you meet on your path that is going to love all the different versions of you. And most importantly, are going to support you and encourage you and truly want the best for you, no matter what stage you're in, no matter what path you choose, no matter what it is that you do. But unfortunately, a lot of people will hold you down because they're holding you to the standard that they know of you in their head. That's why a lot of people who do go on a spiritual journey, who do go on a self-reflection journey, discovering who we truly are, when we break free of who we thought we had to be, when we break free of society's expectations, our parents' expectations, and actually start living our lives for ourselves, not everyone around you is going to be happy for you to do that, because not everyone around you is able to do that. So unfortunately, sometimes when we are going through a huge transformation, we may need to let go of the people around us that still hold us to that old version of ourselves, that still want us to be like the old version of ourselves. and that still expect us to still be like our old version of ourselves. Because if you're trying to change something, but people around you still expect you to be this certain way, it's going to be really hard for you to feel like you can actually move, that you can actually grow, that you can actually evolve, and that you can actually be different. Because these people in your life may make you feel stupid or cringe or silly for changing. And these people are not for you. They're not for that part of your journey where you are at now, where you want to step up, where you want to change, where you want to transform. And that doesn't mean that they weren't beautiful connections when it was needed. That doesn't mean, again, that you have to get rid of everyone in your life and cut everyone off. It's just about accepting that some people, and I know that probably not a lot of people know this quote, that some people are in your life for seasons, and some are in for reasons, and some are in for lifetime. And understanding that that is okay. You know, not everybody is meant to be with you in your life forever. Some people are only meant to be in a certain season of your life where you were meant to be at that time. But if you do want to grow, and if you're feeling like a pull, like I want my life to be better, I want to change, I want to do more things, I want to start going to the gym, I want to start whatever it is, right? I want to start building financial freedom. You have to start surrounding yourself with like-minded people, because say if you're trying to build financial freedom, right? You have this dream and you're like, I want to go after this dream. But then the people around you that you've been friends with for so long, your family, everything like that, they all have limiting mindsets. They're all like, oh, that's impossible, that's unrealistic, blah, 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 because they think that they can never make it. So they will project that onto you. And unfortunately, a lot of us, we absorb that subconsciously, and it can impact us, because if we don't have the right people around us going, yeah, you know what, you can do this, like I believe in you, yeah, why not, why wouldn't you be able to do it, then it's going to keep holding you back, and other people's projections are going to enter into your subconscious mind, and they're going to impact you. They might hold you back, and you might not even realize it. Because if you're going to a friend and you're trying to share to them like this really exciting idea, and you're like, I really want to start content creating and, you know, whatever. And they're like, oh, but there's like already so many people that like talk about that, or like, oh, it's really hard to get famous now, or whatever it is, right? Just the little comments, the little projections that people make onto you. You're going to start absorbing these, and it's going to start creating some self-doubt within you. And now, like I said, I don't think that you should be getting impacted by other people's opinions and projections, but unfortunately we're human and it's always going to happen. So me putting myself out online, yeah, of course I have people in the comments and strangers and things like that, you know, with hate comments and putting me down and saying it's unrealistic and things like that. But those are people that I'm not connected to, right? I'm disconnected from these people. Whereas the people in my life, my immediate circle, the people that are supposed to love and support me, if they're not supporting my dreams, then they're not in my circle. And I know that it's really hard to do, because you don't want to let go of your best friend you've had since you were 5. You don't want to distance yourself from your family, because you have been ingrained with this idea that, you know, family is everything, and that, you know, we can't separate from these people, or like, oh, we need all these long-term people in our lives. And I can understand. I can understand where the programming is coming from. And I think we all do. We all understand. But really knowing that you have a higher purpose, or you have a higher desire, and really wanting to align to that, you have to be willing to let go of the things that no longer serve you. And I know that that saying is kind of thrown around a lot in the spiritual community, but it is about understanding what isn't in alignment to your purpose, in alignment to your dreams. Because you can't have friends around you that are constantly making you doubt yourself. It's going to be harder for you to believe in yourself. It's going to be harder for you to chase your dreams. It's going to be harder for you to start feeling fulfilled in your life. And that's just because you're not getting the love and support that you need. And I know that it can get lonely sometimes, because we have been programmed to just put up with absolutely everything. We've been programmed to, again, families, everything. And no matter what, we must deal with it. And the importance of having a romantic partner or having long-term friends puts pressure on people to put up with a lot less than they actually deserve. And we have this mindset of you're never going to find better, or, you know, it's unrealistic, or whatever it is. But that's not true. I've made friends online that have now become like family to me, that love and support me more than my friends that I've had since primary school, high school, whatever, has ever supported me. And that's the thing, because the more you stay true to yourself, even if it's lonely, even if you're standing alone, even when the world feels like it's against you, the more you stand in your power, the more you are aligned with your higher self, with your purpose, the more the things keep falling into place for you. The more you will attract people in your life who do actually love you, who do actually support you, and who actually want the best for you, who aren't projecting their own insecurities and their own programming and their own conditioning and limiting beliefs onto you. This is what letting go, truly letting go of what no longer serves you looks like. And it can be painful and lonely, but it is what is in your best interest. It's what's going to help you feel so much more aligned and so much more fulfilled, rather than hanging out with people that you know don't actually support you, that you know don't actually want to see you succeed or don't believe that you can. Why would you rather be surrounded by 10 people like that than one person who truly wants the best for you, who's in your corner actually cheering you on? And that comes with doing a lot more internal work and understanding the ego, why our ego feels like we need to have these people around us, why we have attachment to these people, why we still seek validation from these people, because there's always something there. Whenever you go deep within yourself, there's always something there. There's always some sort of reason, some sort of programming, some sort of conditioning that's happened there, some sort of attachment that's happened there where you've abandoned yourself. You've abandoned what it is that you truly want and desire. You've abandoned what you truly deserve in life out of other people because you've abandoned that version of yourself that believes that you are worthy of it. That's usually where a lot of these things stem from. And understanding that, working through that, and letting go of what you realize you're not actually wanting to hold on to anymore. You thought you might have wanted to hold on to it, but you recognize now it's not in your best interest. It's not aligned with your highest self, with your highest potential, with your feeling of success or fulfillment. And that doesn't mean that, you know, you start hating everybody in your life or you start cutting off people. It doesn't mean any of that. It actually can be the opposite. It's a beautiful release of love. It's understanding you were here for this period of my life and it was needed and it was beautiful and we had great times and, you know, whatever it was. But now it is time for me to move on. It is time for me to step forward. And you don't even necessarily have to have conversations with these people if you don't want to. It can just be about you letting go and allowing things to fade and allowing yourself to align to those who you actually align with. You know, it's like a lot of people that get into a really young relationship, they don't really know themselves, right? So you might get into a relationship when you're 16 and you don't really know yourself because you've never really given yourself the chance to figure out what it is that you like. What do you like in a partner? What it is that you're actually looking for, right? Because you just fell in love and you were attached. And it's kind of the same thing with people in our lives. We were attached to our family, we're attached to our friends, we're attached to these people, but we rarely actually got to just discover who we truly are, like what it is that we actually truly like to do ourselves. Especially like if you had parents who really forcefully kind of shaped you. The sports you're into is probably influenced by them. The colors you like are probably influenced by people around you. So almost everything in your life has been a product of your environment. And a lot of us never even slowed down enough to ask ourselves who we truly are, what it is that we truly want. So if you're in a period of time right now where you're feeling like you're transitioning from your old self to a newer version of yourself, give yourself some grace and allow yourself to naturally just gravitate towards more things that fill you up, that make you excited, that make you feel loved and supported. Even if it's just strangers online. I know that it can be perceived as cringe to make friends online, but you know what? F that. Like, we're in 2026 right now. Technology is the biggest it has ever been. Obviously, we have social media. We can make friends from across the world in like a second. And I think it's really beautiful as well because social media has given us the opportunity to connect with more like-minded people, right? Because you might not know any spiritual people in your life, or you might not know of anybody in your life that thinks the way you do, that like is actively aware of themselves and working towards themselves. And if you don't have anyone in your physical life, in your physical reality, it can get really lonely because it's like you feel like you're the only one. And you're like, hey, why am I the only one that cares? Why am I the only one wanting to have the uncomfortable conversations? Why am I the only one, doing this and doing that? And it's not about a place of ego of like, oh, I'm doing so good. Like, I'm so self-aware and like no one else around me is. It's not about that. But it's about having people in your life around you that actually, again, love, support, and respect you. Like, I've had friends that I've made online that now I've seen in person and things like that. And they were like, straight away, you know what? I'm not going to wear any perfume around you. I'm going to do this. Like, they've respected my boundaries, like coming over to my house. As an example, I'm vegetarian, so I don't have meat in my house. And they're like being so cool with it. But I've had people in my life for years and years and years that, still wear perfume when they come to see me, even though they know that triggers me to a migraine. Or, they don't respect the fact that I don't appreciate meat in my home, and they'll still say something about it. And that can usually come from family, and people are just told to put up with it. They're just like, oh, well, you know what? Family's family. It is what it is. These people are this, blah, blah, blah. Like, there's always some sort of excuse to just keep putting up with disrespect. But then you'll meet people that will just straight up respect you. That will straight up like love and support you for who it is that you truly are. Even if you're different, even if you have different beliefs. Like my friends I'm talking about, they eat meat, but they're still respectful of me and my boundaries and my values, just as I am of them. And I think that's what we haven't been taught, right? Because we've been taught to just put up with so much crap that we haven't even been taught what a actual connection could be like, where two people are mature and they're grown and they actually respect each other. There isn't snarky comments, there isn't talking behind backs and all of these sort of things. We're just upfront and honest, and we respect each other, and we actually genuinely care for each other. We want each other in our lives, so we'll have the uncomfortable conversations. And you'll recognize that with a lot of these people from your old life or the old version of you, you can't have these uncomfortable conversations with. You can't go up to your parents and say, hey, like, it really upsets me that you do this, or it's really upset me that you've done this. A lot of us don't feel comfortable talking to our old life people, or the people from our old life, honestly and authentically, because they don't accept us for who we are authentically, or they turn everything into an argument, or whatever it is, right? Everyone's different. Everyone has different connections. But if you're listening to this, you probably kind of resonate with it in some way. So learning and understanding that you deserve to be loved, you deserve to be respected, you deserve to be 100% authentically you and loved for being authentically you is so important on your journey, because then you're not holding on to these attachments from your old life just because you've been best friends with this person for 15 years or just because they're your family. But if they don't actually care about you, if they don't actually want what's best for you, if they're not actually supporting you, not actually loving you, then you have to ask yourself, is this connection holding me back from achieving my dreams? Is this connection holding me back from allowing me to be my true version of myself? And is this connection truly aligned with who I truly want to be and the people I want to have around me? Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to find out some more content on how to dive deeper within yourself, I have a free guide to meditation out on my website. I also make content here and on TikTok about mindfulness and reprogramming your mind and spiritual journeys. And I also have a really exciting new ritual coming out. It's going to be a 7-day ritual on how to become obsessed with yourself. So it's all about mirror work and learning to truly love and accept yourself. So I'm really excited to share that with you guys. So keep an eye out for that, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Blessings.